Bears are an iconic symbol in the Smokies, but they are also dangerous wild animals, and their behavior is sometimes unpredictable. There are inherent risks associated with hiking and camping in bear country. Black bears are the largest predator in the park, and although rare, attacks on humans have occurred, inflicting serious injury and death. If only Patrick could have heard such a message and taken heed of it.
What's up, guys? Iceman here.
So this story is about a young man who ventured off into bear country, and something very unfortunate happened to him. And this discovery, as far as I see it, is one of the most horrific bear attack findings that I've heard of yet. Just what this man must have gone through. But before I get into it, I'd like to thank you guys for all your support on this channel, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd like this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the page, and hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And if you want to support me further, you can become a channel member or a patron. Links in the description below. So let's get into this chilling tale. Patrick was a single man who loved the outdoors. He served his community with vibrancy and joy, but would often take time to withdraw and spend time in the wilderness alone. He had a master's degree in biology and loved to study birds and animals and nature on his free time. The 520,000 acres throughout the Great Smoky Mountains sounded appealing to Patrick on that late summer weekend of September 2020. He wanted to get away from the craziness of the world, from the lockdowns, the chaos. He just wanted to be in the silence of the wild. He was a certified EMT and had vigorous training in firefighting as well. The world depended on him, but he needed a break. He ended up reserving a campsite for one at the Hazel Creek area in the Smoky Mountains. Hazel Creek is a remote area located in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. It is a popular destination for outdoor enthusiasts and history buffs, as it offers hiking, camping, fishing, and historic structures from the early 20th century. The area is accessible only by foot, with a few trails leading into the valley. The most popular trail is the Hazel Creek Trail, which starts at the end of the road in the town of Bryson City, North Carolina, and follows Hazel Creek for approximately 7 miles before reaching the Hazel Creek campsite. The campsite offers primitive camping with no amenities, but there are several historic buildings in the area and have been restored and are open for exploration, including old homes, barns, and churches. These structures provide a glimpse into the life of the early settlers in the area. Fishing is also a popular activity in Hazel Creek, as it is home to native brook trout, as well as rainbow and brown trout. Patrick parked his 4Runner at the end of the road and made the long, sightful trek to the camping area. After miles of hiking, he was relieved to find the site clean and private, so he pitched his tent and made some kettle coffee over a small fire. He then waded in the stream near his campsite, taking a deep breath. He was greatly thankful to finally have to himself a place of peace, quietness, and solitude, even if it were only for a few days. Red squirrels could be heard in their disagreements amongst themselves, and the sound of birds chirping brought him a calming warmth he hadn't felt in what seemed like years. At 44 years of age, Patrick felt, for the first time, a renewed spirit and life about him. It's unclear exactly what time the bear destroyed Patrick's body, but the fight he gave it was vigorous and long-lived, according to the extensive damage done to his body while still alive. It was discovered by the coroner that his wounds were received before death, with heavy trauma to his head, neck, and all over his body. fractured ribs with hemorrhaging, lacerations found across his head, arms, and legs, indicating it was a great struggle to survive. He was estimated to be in great health before the attack. The bear dragged him several yards away from his tent, and they fiercely scuffled, leaving a trail of matted down grass and blood behind them. The bear began nervously eating the man, constantly lifting its head high in concern of any onlookers or additional threats. Finally, a reward for its strenuous labor. The campsite was seen by a small group of hikers making their way through the trails. They stopped to visit the creek nearby, and that's when they saw Patrick's tent. Its entry door unzipped, blowing in the wind, and not a sign of life around it. They suspiciously began scouting the concerning scene and noticed supplies scattered in the tent, along with what seemed to be a battle that took place outside of it. The ground behind it looked like tractors forged through it, with chunks of grass and dirt heavily misplaced. They followed the trail of matted down grass, which led them closer to where the bear could be seen eating Patrick. They noticed what seemed to be fresh blood on the trail, and finally took notice to a black bear just across the creek, foraging through something on the ground in front of it. The bear was acting very unusual and did not react as the hikers noticed it. It stood its ground, making a quick feast of the decaying corpse beneath it, periodically raising its head and chewing, looking toward the hikers, only to look away and continue eating. The chilling scene struck fear within many of the hikers, and they quickly made their way back to the trail and attempted to get cell phone service to contact authorities. The bear continued digging through Patrick's mutilated body, eating so deep within him that its snout made its way to the other side and began mixing the meaty blood with dirt. An hour later, the bear was shot down and killed on top of Patrick's body. It refused to leave its kill and made an easy target of itself. The bear crushed the remains as it dropped. Patrick's body was mangled and torn in many areas and was sent out for further investigation, along with the body of the bear.
Jeez, what do you guys think about that story?
I just can't believe it that this guy was out there alone and got fricking ripped to pieces by a bear. There's a lot about this attack that is unknown. What time did the bear attack? Did it enter Patrick's tent? Did it pull him out of it? Or was it waiting for him outside? It is known, however, that the attack began right outside the tent, most likely, as the ground was torn to hell, and it was quite a scuffle. Unfortunately, Patrick didn't carry anything to protect himself with, so he had to use his bare hands in the midst of this attack, which is why his hands and arms were so torn up by the bear. He was trying to protect himself, but of course, as we all know, can be quite futile. You know, I feel like I can almost relate to this guy a little bit, just wanting to withdraw from society, wanting to go out somewhere where you don't hear the cars, the noise of the town and cities. You just want to listen to the birds and the animals and be at peace for one freaking minute. Keep your cell phone in the vehicle and just go out into the wild. It's horrifying how this went down and how the man was all by himself. I've seen some pictures of the guy. He seems to have been able-bodied and very healthy, and he was a great member to society, which makes this attack even more disturbing. To my understanding, it was an opportunistic male black bear that decided to attack. As this isn't the first time I've made a video or read on an attack where a male black bear was the perpetrator and the attack was predatory. So I'm telling you guys, you gotta be careful out there. Carry some bear spray. And as many of you know, that's what I'll be doing, only I'll also have a little hand cannon as well. And hopefully I won't be alone. But damn, just how unfortunate this is that the guy just wanted to escape for a little while. I wonder what could have been done to prevent this attack. How do you think this attack began? And what sort of precautions would you have taken in order to prevent it? I'm curious what you guys have to say about this in the comments below, and I really appreciate your thoughts on these matters. And if you will, like this video, subscribe to the page, and stay tuned for more chilling tales from the Iceman.